mean, I'm kind of pinching myself every time I come in this facility. It's funny, it's like a split thing, like, wow, I did this. And then I think, wow, I did, I'm also responsible for all of this. So it's a neat relationship, though. I'm really proud of the facility and the employees that I have. I was a Navy brat on the East Coast and ended up doing my undergrad in Chicago in communications. Totally unrelated field at the time, I thought. It turns out it's very related to veterinary medicine. Ended up at Ross University School of Veterinary Medicine in the West Indies and did my final year at Colorado State. My brother lives in the area as a windsurfer, and I came out to visit him in my last year of vet school and fell in love with the area. Just outdoor activities and the community, the animals here, the climate. I didn't want to go anywhere else. I wasn't looking to buy a practice at all. I was pregnant with my second child, and I was doing relief work for the doctor who owned Columbia Vet Hospital. At the time was a small practice, 1,100 square feet, dogs and cats only. And he was ready to retire and offered to sell it to me. And so I took the plunge. I thought this is an opportunity, and I really did it because of the employees. I was sold on the people he had working for him. This is kind of the result of me building for my team. I have doctors who love large animal. Even though I was not a large animal practitioner, I knew that was important to them, and I know the community needed that, and so that helped really drive our process. So we have about 20 employees, and I want to say, including doctors, I have 5 or 6 original. So when I bought the practice initially, I had 3 employees. I quickly got a 4th. They're all still employed with me, which is amazing, and I'm grateful for each one of them. And then one of the doctors that came and joined me is still here as well. So it's a tight team.
I met Dr. Cynthia just on my standard route. This is as far east as I go in my territory. So I, in a sense, just showed up one day at the practice and started to build a relationship. Timely in that she had already purchased the land out here and had plans to grow her practice, to build a whole new building, more than doubled her square footage. And that's when I introduced her to our Guiding Practice Success program. And she's like, timing couldn't have been better.
I knew I needed a change. I knew we had outgrown our practice, but I had no idea what the next steps were. And I remember just so clearly, we're sitting at the GPS conference and they threw up a slide that had a chart on it with revenue and square footage of your facility. And I wasn't on the chart. We were like off the side. Our revenue and our square footage were not even an option on this chart. And I thought, wow, we need a bigger facility. So that was really a moment for me that just really made everything more clear that I was headed in the right direction. And then they had all the tools there to help me. An architect, the trade show floor with all of the new equipment, talking about do's and don'ts of construction, how to find a proper contractor, the questions to ask. It really, I knew where I wanted to be, but I needed to fill in the whole process between where I was and where I wanted to be, and GPS really allowed me to do that. One of the things that I really am thrilled about that we did that I hadn't seen before in a hospital is having a separate induction area for surgery outside of treatment. Treatment is a loud area. We've got our dental alcove there. We've got, various noises and patients on monitoring devices. And I really wanted to have a separate space in the hospital for patients who were undergoing anesthesia. Because those first moments and that experience are really tender. And we want to keep those patients quiet and calm as possible to get the best outcome that's safest for them. And so I really am happy that I separated that space out. It also acts as an emergency triage area. It's directly in from the front door. So if we have an emergency case, it gets hauled right back to the crash cart in the induction area. So that's something I'm really grateful for. So I was really gleaning everything I could from the Patterson resources that I had, all of the people who had participated in GPS, on the board, talking about, the importance of getting your concrete done properly with drain, angles mattering so much. And so I didn't have to reinvent the wheel, and that was wonderful. So I was able to kind of instruct my contractor as to how to, handle some of those more difficult, problematic parts of building a veterinary hospital. I couldn't have done that without the Patterson support. I mean, I was not equipped to do that on my own. And so I could learn from other people's experiences of what had worked, what did not work, advice on all kinds of issues in building. But they don't just give you the content and leave you. You have all these connections going forward, so you can revisit those, you can ask more questions as they formulate. It was very helpful. My old practice had one exam room and one surgery suite. I had a little comfort acupuncture room as well. Now we have 4 exam rooms. This practice is 5,600 feet. My old practice was about 1,100. So it's really grown, and there is a different scale of economy I've learned in management. So I've been learning rapidly, that you don't just project yourself as you are into this new slate. The organism changes, and we all have to change within it, to do what it demands, and to meet our clients' needs. So it's been a real growing process for me. To come into a bigger space, but I love it, and I wouldn't change it for the world.